Everybody, it's Mike. It's April 11th. I'm just going to do a quick video to show you, what's going on with the purse money for Adonis Creed. So here's the deal. Karen McLaughlin called there today and really made no progress. It's a state law that they cannot release the funds because apparently at the time he was not a registered Kentucky bred. Also, the horse who won the race before us, same thing happened to him. And if you look at the charts, you'll see a lot of the horses that won or finished third or second also were shortened some purse. So this happens quite a bit, although they tell you it doesn't. But I just want to show you a couple of the issues that we have here. One, if you look here, this is a New York bred race that Celtic Chaos just ran in. And the key thing I want you guys to look at is here where it says purse 59,000, but there's a qualifier for 3-year-olds and upward, foaled in New York State, and approved by the New York State Bred Registry. So you know when you enter your horse that you have to meet these qualifications. Very clear, and if you have any doubt that you do, then obviously you would look into it. But if you look at the way it was worded in the Kentucky Keeneland race, much different and very deceiving. In fact, the gentleman who runs the Kentucky Derby Development Fund, Kentucky Thoroughbred Fund, he agreed, and he actually said that he's going to reach out to Equibase to see if this is something they can fix. But if I pull up Adonis's race, you see here it says purse 72,000, but there's no qualifier. It just says include 16,800 KTDF, Kentucky Thoroughbred Development Fund. So unless you know the rules and regulations inside out of Keeneland Racetrack, you're running for a purse of 72,000, and great news, it includes 16,000 KTDF money, right? No qualifier. But even if it did, well, how do you know your horse is even qualified if he's even registered without, I guess, going to figure out? But I mean, you can say, okay, should we start looking at the tattoo ID number on our horse's lip and make sure? I mean, are we required to go verify every single thing now about our horses? Could we not rely on the documentation that's being provided? So anyway, so I'll show you what I mean. Just get 1 second here. This is Adonis's catalog page, okay? And if you notice, Adonis, foaled in Kentucky, KTDF. So this is how you identify a Kentucky bred horse, is KTDF. New York breds will say registered New York bred, and Kentucky breds will say folded Kentucky KTDF. Now I'll show you a horse that was not a Kentucky bred, but registered Kentucky bred, but he was foaled in New York. If you take the hip number right before Adonis, here's Adonis 986, and you take this horse 985, you'll see this horse was only foaled in Kentucky. So that's a distinction to tell if he's Kentucky bred registered. So speaking with the KTDF, they said you have to contact OBS. I contacted OBS. They said that it's on the consigner. It's his responsibility. She pulled out the file, and Yep, Adonis had a check. So the consigner fills out the paperwork, and there was a check mark in the box that said Adonis Creed was a Kentucky registered horse. However, he wasn't. So that is an error on the consigner. Whether it was intentional or not, it's irrelevant. But you would think they would not allow people to put engagements like this on a horse that aren't accurate. But in the case it does happen, it says in the fine print, it's the consigner's responsibility. So she actually called him for me, and he did offer to pay the registration fee of, I think it's like $360 for us for going forward. That doesn't help us much now. But unfortunately, they have, after 30 days, nothing you can do. So they all cover themselves, and it's really disappointing that you buy a horse that you believe is foaled in Kentucky and is also Kentucky bred registered, and it turns out he's not. But regardless, regardless of this error, I still have the problem overall with the way the Keelan thing is written out. You know, purse includes 16.8 KTDF, no qualifier for the money. Um, so we have no recourse. And I promise you guys, I spent a good hour or so on the phone with a couple different people today. Um, Two people from the KTDF, and spoke to the OBS person twice. I also did some research online. I mean, I did what we could. I could. Kieran did what he could do. There's nothing we could do. They're not even allowed state law to release the funds out of that nonprofit company, the KTDF, unless that horse is registered at the time of entry. And unfortunately, that's not the case. But let's focus on the positive. We have a nice horse that we bought very cheaply, who just won a photo for the win. That nose was a difference of over $20,000, even with us getting 33,000 for first. So that nose was significant. So let's focus on where we are right now. We just won a purse. It obviously wasn't as big as we had hoped, but we're going to stake races. We have a nice horse here. Um, and, ultimately, you know, we would like to have gotten a big purse, but hey, we still got $33,000, and we're headed off to a stake race for possibly $500,000. So hopefully we look back in the rearview mirror and put this behind us and move forward. But it does suck. It sucks for all of us. We all took a hit on this, and but like I said, we got the win, and we picked up what we did, and we'll move on.